First at 4, one punch turns deadly and a former Detroit police officer faces criminal charges. We have the very latest information. In Macomb County, thousands of drivers have something to celebrate today, and leaders say they're not done. What project is up next? Also, Kim looks at what's next for our weather.
Well, we can celebrate some easy travel weather over the next several days. Right now, it's 41 downtown, 40 in Howell and Pontiac. Very warm air headed our way. We'll talk about it coming up.
How about this for Christmas spirits? From shopping to, what did you call it? Boozy, spirit-forward cocktails. We've got the best holiday shopping spots coming up.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon to you, and thanks for joining me. I'm Christy McDonald in for Karen Drew today. First at 4, we are getting our first look at the former Detroit police officer accused of manslaughter in the death of an elderly man. 29-year-old Juwan Brown was arraigned at noon today. Prosecutors say he was on duty back in September and was called to the Garden Bowl for help with a customer who was causing problems and potentially armed. There was a verbal altercation between Brown and 71-year-old Daryl Vance. Prosecutors say the officer punched Vance, knocking him to the ground where he hit his head. Vance died weeks later. Today, the judge set a $100,000 personal bond, and Brown will be back in court on January 3rd. Well, Macomb County drivers are celebrating a major transportation turning point, and now the focus shifts south. Today, county officials mark the reopening of Mound Road after a $220 million renovation. This massive project involved that busy road from 696 to M59. County Executive Mark Hackle says he was tired of hearing about potholes on Mound, and now he says the repairs and new technology should make those complaints a thing of the past.
We wanted this road to be safe. We don't want to see potholes. I don't want to hear about potholes, especially on Mound Road, but also the technology that's embedded. Probably the most technologically advanced roadway in the entire country is right here in Macomb County, the cities of Sterling Heights and the city of Warren.
Are now open between 696 and M59. Leaders say they're now seeking funds to work on Mound between 696 and 8 Mile. The money for the current project could not be used for that stretch of road. All right, new at 5 for you tonight. Mara McDonald will take a drive on the new improved Mound Road, a rush hour ride with live updates for you. Well, inflammatory emails to the treasurer of Bloomfield Township led to the arrest and the extradition of a Massachusetts man to Michigan. Police accused Mark Azen of sending accusatory emails to Treasurer Michael Shostak and more than 190 other people, including family and his children's school. The emails accused him of being affiliated with Hamas and other defamatory claims. Detectives say they warned Azen to stop, but he didn't. He is now in the Oakland County Jail and has been ordered to stay in Michigan until trial. New at 6 tonight, the Bloomfield Township Treasurer sits down with Pamela Osborne to talk about the case and what it's been like for him and his family. Well, temperatures are climbing again on this Wednesday afternoon. This is a live look at Ann Arbor. Good afternoon to you, Ann Arbor, where it's above 40 degrees. Kim Adams standing by with the first forecast for us. All right, Kim, what does tonight look like?
Oh, it's just great. If you want to come downtown, go ice skating, or whatever you'd like to do, it's pretty mild, especially for this time of year. 44 downtown, 40 in Pontiac, upper 30s in Mount Clemens, Port Huron, mid-30s, Sandusky, 42, the warm spot down in Monroe. It's quite a bit warmer than it was just 24 hours ago. 8 degrees warmer at City Airport. Right now it's 9 degrees warmer than it was 24 hours ago in Pontiac. So definitely some warm air in place, and we'll keep that warm air around for the day tomorrow. But we'll notice an increase in the clouds out ahead of our next system, which is going to bring us some rain for the end of the week. We'll talk about that. Plus we'll take a look at your Christmas Day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you in a bit. Thanks, Kim. The debate over former President Donald Trump's political future is likely headed to the United States Supreme Court. He has been kicked off the primary ballot in Colorado, but that decision is on hold. Now, Trump allies and critics alike are battling over why they feel the decision is right or wrong. Kimberly Gill is in the newsroom to look at some of the arguments here. Kim?
Hi, Christy. Good afternoon to you. The Trump 2024 presidential campaign is promising swift appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court, but nothing has been filed as far as we know yet. This was our top story last night at 11 if you were watching, and it's an unprecedented ruling based on a constitutional amendment passed 155 years ago. So basically, the 14th Amendment was passed to prevent Confederate lawmakers from returning to federal office. It forbids anyone who held office but engaged in or supported an insurrection from running again. The majority of Colorado's Supreme Court found the former president did indeed engage in an insurrection through his actions on January 6th. It also rejected his free speech claims. We should point out, while Trump faces election interference charges in D.C. and Georgia, he has not been convicted of anything. Critics say his actions January 6th were obvious, while even his Republican primary opponents call the court's decision political, not constitutional.
What you're seeing the left do is they will use the power of the state to advance their agenda. And you see that with the Colorado Supreme Court. I mean, look, if somebody's convicted or something of some of these things, there was no trial on any of this. They basically just said, what, you can't be on the ballot? I mean, how does that work? What's the limiting principle for that?
I think it's undeniable, in my view, that he participated in an insurrection and as such should be disqualified from holding federal office.
Colorado ruling is on hold until January 4th. It's unclear how quickly the United States Supreme Court might act. Colorado's primary is set for March 5th, so far, similar challenges to keep Trump off the ballot have failed in other states, including here in the state of Michigan. Right now, the latest decision here in Michigan is being appealed to Michigan's Supreme Court. So our coverage of this continues when you join us for Local 4 News at 5. Christy, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Kim. We'll be watching.
Sure.
The leader of Hamas is on the move, and Israel continues to pound Gaza with new airstrikes. We have the very latest on the conflict in the Middle East for you this afternoon. Israel claims to be making great progress when it comes to eliminating Hamas. This is new video of residents running for cover from an Israeli airstrike near a hospital in Rafah. However, Hamas militants are putting up stiff resistance. And just yesterday, the group fired more rockets into central Israel. Meantime, the leader of Hamas traveled to Cairo today for talks on another possible ceasefire. It would likely involve the swap of more Israeli hostages for Palestinian prisoners. The indirect talks are being mediated by Egypt, Qatar, and the United States. Israel is under pressure at home and abroad to do more to bring home the rest of the hostages that were taken back on October 7th. Meantime, the death toll in Gaza is now close to 20,000 people. Homeland Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas spent some time on Capitol Hill this morning to talk about border security. However, a larger security spending package is now on hold until after the holidays. Senators have left Washington without a compromise on immigration changes that could free up more money for Israel and Ukraine. All of those big issues now on hold during a critical time. Well, back here at home, some of you might be making the last dash for Christmas presents. That might be me. We are 5 days away. And if you're tired of all the stuff you find online and at major retailers, our Paula Tutman has found some unique options for us. She's live in Detroit, highlighting the quirky, creative, and independent businesses that are out there. Hey, Paula.
Hey, Christy. Hi, everybody. I got something for you. So here's the thing. We all know that Metro Detroit has a lot of wonderful communities and villages. So here's the whole idea. We want you to just kind of wander in, sample something or someplace you've never even been before. So we kind of tried that. We pretended to be Detroit tourists. And look what we wandered into. Any downtown will do. Driving through or making it a destination when you shop at the independent shopkeep for the holiday gifts, you are not just one of the masses.
Carol Boyes is from South Africa. Very special and unique gift items. So this is our Art Loft brand from Barcelona, Spain. It's called Desigual.
So a lot of people might actually recognize the Art Loft logo because the store used to be in Birmingham. It's now moved down to Detroit, Cass and Willis. When you purchase from Art Loft, it's not really likely that gift is going to be duplicated.
She's just passionate about life and gift giving.
Don't roll too fast down Grand Boulevard in Oakland because you might miss Vault of Midnight and Inside Things, Wonderful Things. Great artwork on the walls and, of course, the windows. But once you get inside, honestly, even if you're not into comic books, you're probably going to get lost here for a while. Here they are experts in fun and wonder.
Model kits, plush, action figures, collectibles.
If you have a comic book fan and you just don't get it, don't worry. They do.
If you just give us like a one-word prompt like, oh, I have someone who really loves science fiction. I'd love to find a good science fiction book for them. Each one of us could bring you a different science fiction book that brings different stuff to the table from all different ends of the store. We do have the first appearance of the Avengers here in store.
And how much does that cost?
A collector's price.
If you have to ask, you have to ask. Our last stop, Petty Cash Restaurant on Livernois, between 7 and 8 Mile.
I like to play around with a different kind of like flavor profiles.
T.T. Porter is the beverage director and creator of their specialties behind the bar. Performance cocktails, where the drink is only part of the thing.
I like to wow the people. Walk up to your table with something that's on fire. It's like, oh, wait a minute, can you do it again so I can take a picture of it?
This is the Put It On Me. PM for short. Not only do you get a show when your drink is crafted in front of your eyes,
So I'm going to smoke the cocktail with pear wood.
but the wow factor is actually a feast for the eyes. Oh, and the palate.
And voila.
Okay, Titi, there you go. Light her up. So this is just one of the things that you would find if you just kind of wandered into some place that you'd never been before. All right, Titi, I got to ask you, what's this one called?
This is the s'mores old fashioned, and it is bourbon sweet and fiery good.
Bourbon sweet and fiery good. When you just wander into places during the holidays, it can be an adventure. Christy, what do you think about this? Bourbon sweet.
Oh my
fiery
gosh.
Good.
I mean, smoked cocktails and unique items. I'm in, Paula. This is my kind of story. This is good stuff. All right. Thanks so much.
You don't just have to drink anymore. You can just enjoy it. Watch it be made and then, you know.
The marshmallows smell good enough. All right. Thanks, you guys.